अपलोड तो करना नहीं है तो फिर रिकॉर्ड क्यों कर रहे हैं? बेटा few number of days I was stuck in some hospital works and so many other things, so that's why upload is pending to be done for some of the lectures. But anyway, that will be done as soon as possible. Sharing my screen with you, and here we are. Okay, so we were there into this. I hope my screen is visible to everyone now. We were there into the sensitivity analysis, and we had found the sensitivity of each and every factor. Now, all the factors were given to us, all the variables were given to us, right from the rate to the initial outflow, to the price of the report, and to the number of reports. We have seen the sensitivity, and we have come to know that which variable is the most sensitive, and we have also given the ranking to it, right? Now, one more thing that we forgot to do over here was, if you can see, there was a salvage value given over here. You may check it. The salvage value, that is 1 lakh rupees. Now, what do we understand by the salvage value is that it is realizable money at the end of the project, when the project will be obsolete, when project will not have any economic life. You will get some scrap value out of it, right? Now, we forgot to take this 1 lakh rupees into our account. Now, that is not a difficult task. What we can do is, we have found the revenue from reports over here, right? That's C29 multiplied by D29 in my case. Now, what we'll be doing in the revenue from reports, I'm putting that revenue from reports in a bracket, and I am putting the sign of plus there, and then linking the salvage value of 1 lakh. So the cash inflow from the year number 10 will be including this 1 lakh rupees, pressing enter, and rest all the calculations will get changed automatically. You are not supposed to do any change in whatever the things you have done till now, because each and every cell we have taken here are interdependent on each other. We are quite aware about it, right? PVCO, PVCI, as well as the NPVs, everything is automatically getting adjusted. All the data tables as well that we have prepared for the sensitivity analysis are also being automatically updated. I hope that's pretty much clear. Now, one more thing that you should have observed is that I have added it in the revenue from operations. So that means it will be included in the net cash flow. You could have directly included that in the net cash flow as well. That means when you do the discounting factor, it is before doing the discounting factor. Obviously, whatever the money you will be realizing at the end of whatever the number of years is, say 10 years in this case, that will be the future value, right? The present value adjustment is to be done on it. So that's why you will have to do this 1 lakh rupees of adjustment either in the net cash inflow or in the revenue from operations. Do not include it in the present value. No. Because whatever the money you get from the salvage value is to be counted before taking the discounting factor. Because on that amount too, the present value adjustment is required to be done, right? May I have the confirmation from the students, please? Is it clear? Absolutely clear till now, all of you? Received it from Miss Helly. Miss Jalpa as well, good. Miss Aruna was not present since last many number of sessions. Aruna, how's the health of your father now?
Yes, sir, I am improving, sir.
Okay, good, good. Take care of him, huh? Okay. Miss Dara. Okay, she has also given, and Miss Purvita has also given. Let's move ahead further. Now, what was the basic thing about the sensitivity analysis was that we were changing the variable each at a time. So each and every variable were independently changed, and rest everything we were assuming to be constant. So if I give you one example like here, that rate of return expectations from the project got changed, but rest every detail was supposed to be same, right? And accordingly the new NPV calculation was done. Now what will happen if we want to change 2 or 3 or 4 variables at the same time? That means it is not just about changing the one variable, it is about changing the entire scenario. The only fundamental difference between the scenario analysis and the sensitivity analysis is that sensitivity considers only one factor to be changed at a time. However, the scenario considers so many variables at a time to be changed. Now here in this case, say for example, this is a moderate scenario we have considered, we can also go to the pessimistic scenario, we can also go to the optimistic scenario. These are the three range we may give. You can give few other ranges as well, that is absolutely up to you. Now how the scenarios you will be preparing in the real life, you may change quite a few variables based on some of the situations which might occur in the future, and you could have 3 to 4 such sort of scenarios in front of you, and you want to do the analysis of the project based on each and every scenario of that. Now the good thing about this Excel model is that you won't have to change this entire model, because the cells are interdependent on each other. The only thing you will be changing here is, see, the number of reports have been taken from this yellow highlighted cells. Price of report is also taken from this yellow highlighted cell, because price is equal to F16. Revenue from reports is basically the multiplication of number of reports and the price. Maintenance cost is also taken from the yellow highlighted cell. So all these yellow highlighted cells are independent in nature, are deriving the value from their own. Now entire model will get changed if you will be making some other scenario. So let's prepare some other scenarios. Before I prepare the another scenario, I should also give the existing scenario some name, So the step number 1 over here is the scenario manager is absolutely very easy to be done in the Excel. You won't be doing these calculations manually again and again. You'll be just selecting all those independent cells. I'm selecting all those independent cells, putting together yellow highlighted cells. Let me use the magnifier. So once these yellow highlighted cells are selected, you will go to the data. In data, you would able to see what if analysis, select scenario manager from there. And first of all, you will be adding the scenario. So let's give the name to the existing scenario. The name of the existing scenario would be the existing scenario. The cells are already selected. You are not supposed to select it again. You will just be pressing OK now. Now whatever the values that are existing, you'll be keeping it as it is. We are not changing it because we want to prepare one scenario of the existing values too. So I'm just pressing OK. So one existing scenario is prepared now. Now we may create the scenarios which can be optimistic in nature, which can be pessimistic in nature too. So let me add one optimistic first, क्योंकि हम तो पॉजिटिव लोग हैं तो पहले ऑप्टिमिस्टिक सोचेंगे. So I'm doing the optimistic scenario. You can give any name you want to give to it, that's entirely up to you. Then whatever the cells are selected will remain as it is, just pressing OK. Now, in the optimistic scenario, say the initial cost. Now, each and every amount and the values which you have in the cells are given to you over here, which are selected. Now the cell number is also given to you. In cell number C14, you have the initial cost amount, right? Say in the optimum scenario, it reaches to 78 lakhs instead of 80 lakhs. So I'm writing it 78 lakhs over there. Say the maintenance cost will be 48,000. When I say optimistic, at that times we are thinking about the positive situation. In a positive situation, the expenses will go down and revenues will go up. So all the items which are affecting the revenues will have to increase those numbers, and all the items which are part of the expense of our, or I may say the part of the cash outflow of our model will be decreased, sorry. Required rate of return, let me put 15 over there instead of 13. So reports in the first year. Now say the reports in the first year, we are right now in the optimistic one, So let's take the reports in the first year to be around 800. And the salvage value will be fetched somewhere around 2 lakhs rupees instead of 1 lakh in this case now. Price in the first year, instead of 2000, we are taking say 2500. So I'm pressing OK. So one more scenario is created, which is the optimistic scenario. Let's go over there and add one more scenario, and that's gonna be the pessimistic scenario. All the cells are already selected. You're not supposed to change it now. Pressing OK. Pessimistic, sir, we were expecting 80 lakhs to be expensed out, लेकिन पता नहीं क्या हो गया, जर्मनी ने अचानक से सिटी स्कैन मशीन का प्राइस बढ़ा दिया और हमारा कॉस्ट हो गया 85 lakhs rupees. Oh my god. So changing the initial cost to 85. Maintenance cost, we were expecting it to be 50,000, but some uncertainties arises and it goes to 60,000. Oops. Say the required rate of return reaches to 11. Reports in first year. Now see, when the pessimistic things arises, no, obviously you reduce your required rate of return. And when the optimistic things arises, you try to increase your rate of return. You would be like, now I expect a bit more amount of return, So rate of return needs to be adjusted accordingly. So in this pessimistic situation, we are not expecting much from the project. We are just expecting 11% of the return. And reports in the first year would be somewhere around 600. You are expecting it to be 750 in a normal moderate scenario, reaches to 600. Oops. And the salvage value will also be 50,000 only. Oh my god. That's the considerable amount of loss we'll be making in it. The initial price we were expecting to be 2,000, and there were certain government regulations. They have put some bottlenecks and they have passed a judgment across the India that no one will be able to charge more than 1,500 for the CT scan report. And it's going to be 1,500 now. Pressing OK. So there are 3 scenarios now. So once those 3 scenarios are prepared, I am just closing it. Now people were like, why you are closing it? I'm not closing it. We are doing some scenario analysis. Do not worry. So, I am just putting the amounts over here as per the existing scenario. First is PVCI. Another one is PVCO. Now write those amounts manually, write those amounts manually, because When you will be changing the scenario, these are anyway going to be changed. So I am writing it manually because we want to find the percentage change in the NPV due to the change in the scenarios. So I'm writing it manually. Do not link it now. Otherwise, what will happen that if you link it with the cells, no, then once you will change the scenario somewhere, then this existing amounts will also be changed. So I'm writing it manually. What is the amount of PVCI coming? 104,03213.84 to be more precise. This is the PVCI. PVCO is going to be 80 lakhs. So my net present value is going to be equal to PVCI, which we have done just before it, minus PVCO, which is K30. So we have got, sir, मिंडे में कहीं पे गलती की है. Okay. So we have got the NPV. Now that's the existing NPV, you know. Now once we have written the existing NPV somewhere, now we can just change the scenario and then we will be finding the percentage change in NPV if we'll be changing the scenario. So now you can go to the scenario manager again, go to the data, what if analysis, scenario manager, and instead of existing, select the optimistic scenario and press the button of show. And once you will do the show button there, my dear friends, your NPV is increasing to the great extent. You may check it. See how much? 49,75,130. So I'm writing it again manually. That is optimistic NPV. Optimistic. You are not supposed to write your PVCI and PVCO. You may just directly like the NPV amount as well. So that's going to be how much? 49,75,130.422. And now I am writing over here the pessimistic NPV. So to find the pessimistic NPV, my dear fellows, we are not supposed to do these calculations again and again. We are just going to change the scenarios which we have done for the independent cells, and we have derived and we have prepared this entire financial model based on the independent cells only. So we'll be changing those independent cells only. So going over there in the data, then we'll go to the what if analysis, scenario manager. Instead of optimistic, select the pessimistic now and press the button of show. Some people will be like, ऐसे कुत्ते को show करते हैं वैसे आपने show किया. मेरी मर्जी, मेरे को जो भी बोलना हो. So once you do the show, I hope the NPV amount would have been existed. Yes. In the very pessimistic situation as well, my dear fellas and fellies, we are also making the profits, which is in the pessimistic अपना profit बढ़ गया. ऐसा कैसे हुआ? Oh right, I'm really sorry. Really sorry. Instead of 85 lakhs, I have put 8,50,000 over there in the scenario. आपका सही जा रहा है, मेरा कुछ अलग आ रहा है. मैं डेटा में जाके, सर आप धीरे धीरे करो ना, आपको क्या इतनी उतावल है कि आपको हर कुछ इतना फास्ट कर देना है, फिर मिस्टेक करते हो. ओके, पेसिमिस्टिक सिनेरियो में गया, then I am trying to edit it, so I am just going to the pessimistic scenario and I am editing it. मैंने इसलिए किया क्योंकि मैं आपको edit वाला भी सिखा सकूं ना. Some people will like word लिया. Okay. हाँ देखो, ये instead of 85 lakhs, I have put 8,50,000. So I'm just putting one more zero there. So pressing OK. My scenario is edited now. Now I can go and select the pessimistic scenario and put the show button. So I can see that the NPV is coming negative 17,44,588. So pessimistic NPV is minus 17 lakh 44,588. I hope everyone is getting the same NPV. May I have a confirmation from the students, please? All of you. Confirmation, please, all of you. Are you getting optimistic and pessimistic NPVs there? Mr. Meet has said yes. How about others? If you are a little bit lagging behind, please let me know. I'll be waiting for you. From Miss Jalpa, I have received yes. From Miss Purvita too. Okay, good. Miss Aruna as well. Good to see that. Nice. Okay, now to finding the NPV and the percentage change in NPV is something that you can do by your own self, right? So the change in NPV would be new minus old divided by the old. So you would get the percentage change in NPV. So in optimistic, new minus old, that is 24. I'm just, let me write somewhere over here so that you'll be get it in a better way. Percentage change in NPV. So equal to the new minus old. Now old को मैं कर देता हूँ lock because we want to break the formula somewhere. No, that's why. Oops. Opening the bracket. New minus old 24. You can also do old minus new as well, huh? But if it is old minus new, then you will have to interpret it accordingly. Old minus new divided by the old one. So old one is K31. So I'm just locking those cells. And I'm copying it and pasting it over here to the next one too. And I'm selecting both of this. I need to convert this into a percentage, so converting this into percentage. So I'll be just pressing the sign of percentage after selecting that from the numbers section. And I can see that if some optimistic situation arises, then my NPV would be increased by 107% from the existing level. And if the pessimistic situation arises, then my NPV would be reduced by 172% from the existing level. So at the pessimistic side, we have the great gap. Now this can help you to understand the risk of the project. That if everything goes against your research, if everything becomes pessimistic, then whether will you be able to survive in the business or not, whether you will be able to maintain some amount of profitability in the project or not. And here in this case, we have come to know straight away that if we expect everything on the pessimistic side, then NPV is going down like anything, getting reduced by 172%, which is quite a great amount of reduction from the existing level. In fact, it is reaching to the negative level. That means we are not able to satisfy the required rate of return of 11% as well. I hope everyone is crystal clear about it. Accordingly, you can do your analysis and you can take your decisions related to the risk of the project. And Against this project, if you have one more project, you know, which project will give you the positive NPV even in the pessimistic situation, then right now you have got the NPV of existing NPV of around 24 lakhs. But a next project which can be a stable project which will give you the existing NPV of say just 10 lakhs, but it will give you the pessimistic NVP as well, somewhere around 50,000, which is also a positive amount. So if you are the person who is not very much risk taking in nature, then you would go with this project, even though that project gives you the lesser amount of existing NPV. But if everything goes against your research, if everything goes against your expectations, then also that project is fetching somewhere around 50,000 rupees of NPV. So that's a quite stable project in nature. Accordingly, you may take the decision. So you'll be taking the decision based on your risk taking capacity rather than the return expectation from the project. If you do a simple Kinda capital budgeting analysis, no, then straight away how decision you take that higher the NPV, better it is for you. So straight away in the simple manner, you would select the project which will offer you the higher NPV. But if you do the risk analysis, you might come to know that some of the projects might give you the lower NPV, but in the very pessimistic situation too, they can offer you the positive NPV. So if you are expecting that in upcoming years to come, there can be some negative uncertainties which might arise in the economy, which might take place in the prevailing situation of the country, then you may take the safe approach and you may go with the project which will give you the lower existing NPV, but it can offer you the positive NPV even in the worst situations. I hope the interpretation and the analysis for the risk is crystal clear for each and every students now. A final confirmation as far as the sensitivity as well as the scenario manager is concerned, I am expecting. Now I am moving forward to the financial break-even point. A confirmation please from the students till now. Very good. Received it from Mr. Meet as well as from Ms. Aruna. Good to see that. Let's move ahead and let's go to the financial break-even point. And my dear friends, the financial break-even point is different from the accounting break-even point. You people are aware about it. The financial break-even point straight away means that at what amount of sales or at what amount of cash flow after tax, your NPV will become zero. So at what amount of sales you will be able to cover up your exact rate of return. The exact rate of return could be 12%. Here in this case, I have kept 16%. So what should be the amount of sales or what should be the quantity of the sales at which the NPV would be zero? That means PVCI minus PVCO should be equal to zero. That further means that PVCI should be equal to PVCO. So at what amount of sales if I generate on a yearly basis, my entire project's PVCI will become equal to the PVCO of the entire project. That is the financial break-even point. It is different from the accounting break-even point. Please put it in the back of your mind. The accounting break-even point is the no profit, no loss situation. Contribution divided by, fixed cost divided by the contribution per unit. You get the quantity as the break-even point in accounting. Accounting break-even point tells you that what is the level of sales at which there will be no profit, no loss. The financial break-even point tells you that what is the level of sales at which you will be able to cover up your exact rate of return, which is your expected rate of return. That means the level of sales at which the PVCI will become equal to the PVCO. In other language, I can also call that the level of sales at which the NPV would become equal to 0. So that is the financial break-even point. Now here in this case, when it comes to the break-even points, you would straight away start preparing one, again, the dependent kind of Excel model. And then we would use a function called goal seek function to reach to the goals of us, to reach to the break-even points in the sales. But before that, one should prepare the entire Excel model, which should be interdependent on each other, in which the cells should be interdependent on each other. Let's start preparing such kinda model. So we'll be using the goal seek function for the financial break-even point. Let's start reading the question first of all. Mr. Ronak wants to establish the oxygen production plant for which he is planning to import the parts from Germany. So someone, refer. See, right now there is a great opportunity in the oxygen production. So, and government is also giving the open licenses to all who are right now coming into this business. So if you're starting the business, there won't be any problem as far as the license fetching is concerned, because government is providing such licenses. The details of the project are given below. The variable cost will be 6.67 percentages. That means whatever the amount of, whatever the cylinder price you will be keeping, in that 66.67 percentage of each cylinder will be going to the variable cost. Variable cost can be the raw material of the oxygen, can be the labor cost of the oxygen, can be, the cylinder price, or whatever the case it would be. It is the variable cost which is changing directly related to the quantity of cells we are making. So say for example, each cylinder will be having the price of 5,000. Then 66.67, that means 2/3 will be the variable cost straight away. So 2/3 of 5,000 would be whatever the price, it's somewhere around 3,500 it would be, or 3,333 being more specific. That will be the variable cost. And from rest of the amount you get per cylinder basis, you will have to take care of your, the fixed cost and every such sort of things. Okay, let's move ahead. Then you have got the fixed cost related to the plant, which will be 30,000 on a monthly basis. So we'll have to convert it on the per year basis, because we are supposed to find the the break even point, the amount of sales, the level of sales on a annual basis at which the NP would become 0. Depreciation is to be calculated on SLM basis, so we'll have to calculate the depreciation accordingly. Life of the project is going to be 8 years. After 8 years, this oxygen production plant is going to be obsolete. Required rate of return from this project is 16% I have kept, and tax rate is 0.33. So I can again write it 33.33%. Amount of investment is going to be 40 lakhs rupees if I'll be importing the parts from the Germany, and if I'll be paying the duty, somewhere around 40 lakhs rupees of investment I'll be making in it. Salvage value of the plant after 8 years is going to be 2 lakhs rupees. Once the plant will be obsolete, this is the money I'll be fetching as a scrap value from that project. Price of the each oxygen cylinder can be kept maximum up to 6,000. So there is a regulation right now in the government, stated by the government of India, that you cannot keep the price of each cylinder. Now each cylinder would be of 10 liters or 15 liters, whatever the case it would be. We are not aware about it. But each cylinder of say 10 liters will not be fetching any price above 6,000. Say this is the guideline given by the government of India. Now, what quantity of cylinders Mr. Ronak will have to sell on a monthly basis to get the financial break-even point? This is the question we have. So we'll start preparing the model, which is the interdependent model. Each cells will be interdependent on each other, and then we will go to the break-even point. Okay, now let's assume some cells, assume some quantity of, and whatever the NPV would be having, no, whatever the cash flow after the tax will be having, say negative, positive, whatever the case it would be. Then we'll be using the goal-seek function to take our NPV to 0. So you may start with any amount of cells, just for the betterment of our calculations, just for the better clarity of the calculation. Otherwise, if we'll be taking it as a x, then we'll be stuck into some of the calculations related to the x, and we'll have to frame the equation, and then after solving that algebraic equation, we'll get the value of x. That's what we had done manually on the pen paper basis. We'll not be doing such kind of things now. What we'll do is we'll assume some amount of cells. Okay, so let me start preparing it. So I'm assuming cells quantity, sales price per cylinder. That's gonna be the next one. CYLIND, या डबल एल नहीं लिखना है. Okay. So sales price per cylinder. Sales price per cylinder is 6,000 given to us. Now let's assume that the sales quantity per year or you may assume the per month as well, and then you can multiply that with 12, and you may get the break-even point is supposed to be given from our side based on monthly basis, so let me put on a monthly basis. Okay, number of months I'm writing somewhere over here, obviously going to be 12, and sales quantity per month, let's assume it at 100. So the sales per annum is going to be equal to, please put it in the back of your mind that now after this, each and every calculations that we are doing should be interdependent on each other. Then only we'll be getting the financial break-even point. So sales per annum is going to be, can someone tell me? It's going to be the per month quantity, which is 100, multiplied by the price of the each cylinder, 6,000, multiplied by the 12 months, because this would be the sales of 1 month. If we'll be multiplying that by 12, which is going to be E5 in this case, I get the amount which is the sales of per year. Now let me change the quantities. The sales of per annum is quite low, 7,20,000 rupees only it is coming. Let me put sales per quantity at 300. Or you may take 250, 300, whatever the case it would be. Fine, let's take it to 300. I'm taking the sales quantity at 300. Please. You may take it any you want to, but I just want, positive answer. That's why. And then we'll be using the goal-seek function. यहाँ पे क्या हो गया, इसको नंबर में कन्वर्ट कर देता हूँ. थोड़े से बॉर्डर्स दे देते तो बच्चों को मालूम पड़े कौन से बॉक्स के अंदर क्या है अवेलेबल. Okay, then we'll be putting the variable cost. Variable cost would be the amount of cells. I can also write the variable cost percentage somewhere, you know, variable cost percentage, which is how much? 66.67%. So I can link that with 66.67%, or I may manually write it as well. Don't worry. You can manually write it as well. Fine. So variable cost now would be in rupees equal to cells multiplied by the variable cost percentage. So contribution is nothing but the sales amount minus the variable cost amount. So equal to, I'm linking that contribution amount, sales minus variable cost in rupees. So that's gonna be just a second. Okay, change your sales quantity to 50. Now you can take it with 300 as well. I don't have any problem, but it would be looking very impractical scenario, you know, because the thing is that if you'll be getting too much of cells, then there would be too high NPV, and against which you will be having just 40 lakhs rupees of cost. So just to look it a little realistic, I'm changing the sales quantity to 50. You may again change it. Contribution amount I have got now. Good. Then after contribution, see, I'm right now developing the model with you. It's the simultaneous exercise even I am doing along with you. It's not something that I have already done it in the past and I'm, you know, I'm just explaining that to you. I'm doing it along with you. So there is a quite possibility and chances that I'll be making the modifications as well. So you will also be involved into my thought process over here. So I'm not just imposing whatever I have assumed and you will be doing that only. You are there into my thought process. You are also preparing the similar model by, you know, indulging yourself into the thought process. So contribution as well we have got. Now from dear friends, contribution we would be reducing the depreciation and as well as the other fixed cost, you know. So first of all, I am writing the depreciation. Depreciation would be how much? It is on the SLM basis. So when we prepare the depreciation on SLM basis, no, this is how you will be giving the depreciation on per month per annum amount. So whatever the initial cost you have minus salvage value divided by, that means the actual cost you have gathered, you know, you will be putting, you know, that means that is the actual cost, because salvage value is also something which is the cash inflow you will be receiving in some years to come, divided by the number of years. So you will get the per annum depreciation amount which will remain constant for all of these 8 years. So depreciation amount is going to remain constant for all of these 8 years. It will remain constant. That's why it is called SLM. That means straight line method. That means in each and every year the depreciation amount is not going to be changed. So I can just write the formula over here. Equal to initial cost is, I'm writing that in a bracket. Initial cost is this 40 minus the salvage value is going to be the 2 lakhs. So selecting that cell, closing the bracket, divided by the number of years, which are how many? 8 years. Now 8 years are there in the text. So I am writing it manually 8 over here. It's gonna be 4,75,000. Then there is a one more cost to be reduced to get all such sort of a costs related to this project. So I'm just writing it maintenance cost. Equal to, you have got this 30,000, that is to be divided by 12, right?
Screen is not visible.
Oops. Now this is the problem with the mobile phone internet. You know, I got a call and I just disconnected that call. Still, I got disconnected from this meeting. I was receiving one call and I disconnected it. So depreciation was, I guess you were there up to the depreciation. And then maintenance cost is, I have just linked that amount 30,000 multiplied by 12 because this maintenance cost is given to us on a per month basis. So you get profit before tax. So profit before tax is nothing but the contribution minus depreciation E10 minus maintenance cost, pressing enter. So you have got the profit before tax. Then there will be a tax amount. So equal to the profit before tax multiplied by the tax percentage, you know, that is 33.33. So you can multiply that with directly the B9. So you get the tax amount here. So you get the profit after tax equal to PBT minus tax amount. And this entire calculation is on the per annum basis. Do not forget it. It's already 1144. Fine. So you may just keep this limited only up to profit after tax. The rest of the model, the cash flow after tax, and you know, getting to the NPV and present value of cash inflow and outflow will be done in the next session. So that we will see later on in the next session. Up to this profit after tax, I think everyone should be on the same page with me. May I have a confirmation again, please? Is every one of you there on the same page with me till this profit after tax? Good. Thank you so much. So we'll explore that model further in the next meeting. Just put your enrollment number as a mark of your attendance. Take care. Sayonara. Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you all.